everyone.
What's
I think
up?
we're I think we're live.
We are.
Okay. Hey everyone. Amen. I can hear myself now in the background. I think we're gonna just wait a couple minutes, or a minute or a second or two, because we've got more people coming into the chat, and some people are still signing up. So a lot of people signed up. So let's see what we got going on. Hello, Lauren from LS Powder Coating. Hello. Got Lee. He's in Mount Holly, North Carolina. Jay, do you know where that is?
Yes, I do.
We've got Victor, Black Label Coatings. Victor, are you going to pop on the chat? Are you going to come in this studio here? We've got Kier, Big Dipper, Rob, Caliper Coatings. Hi, Rob. Hope your social media game's doing better. Jim, thank you. Jim is my co-host on the news show that we do, In the News with Kim and Jim. So please go check that out. Who else? Kevin, Kane's Coatings. Scott, SCP Powder Coating. Hello, Scott. More. Well, what's going? Okay, I gotta say this right off the bat. What is going on in North Carolina? You guys are busier than shit. There's so many people doing well in North Carolina.
Dragging them all in. Everybody from North Carolina, John has drug in to see his initial appearance, his rock star appearance.
Yep, my rock star appearance. I'm famous.
Or you do this, gets out all the nerves, right?
Yeah.
Lenny from Tin Works. Hello. Always busy and need more. Yes, that's a good sign. Okay. Trying to get a certain person on as a mystery guest. Okay, so I think people are kind of just filtering in. It looks like we're all a go. Let me give you some kind of, I guess, instructions, I guess, if we want to call them that. Basically, this is just like a chit chat. We can debate about things. We can talk about things. We're going to share a story. We're going to talk about some of the things that we want to change in our industry as custom coaters. And I want to introduce, first of all of our guests, and we might have some more checking in here. So right here to the, I guess, the right of me is Rich from Rags to Riches. Rich is always, I can tell it's really, really hot in Michigan right now because this is the rosiest I've seen you, Rich. It's either a sunburn or like a burn from the oven. I don't know, right? But yeah, we got Michigan Powder, Fab Coat.
Hello.
Shane Hall, first time to the show. Welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
Good. And then we've got Luis from LS Powder Coating, Jay from Precision, North Carolina,
What's up?
and Tyler. Tyler's been a show. Wait, oh, we have a mystery guest coming on. Hello, Robert.
Oh, so we are graced.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, the man.
He's so special. He has his own row.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Special.
Oh yeah, exactly. Goat panel is awesome, Kim. And thanks a lot, Jim. We got a goat panel here, and we're happy to have them. We're going to talk about so many cool things. So do me a favor. Let's just kind of go through the line really quick, and we'll start with Rich. Just give me like 2-3 sentences on how you got started, where you're located, for all the new listeners out there in case they don't know who you are, and what kind of powder coating jobs do you do?
Rags to Riches, mid-Michigan / Lapeer, Michigan. Been in the game now full-time 6 years. Powder coating for 8 years. Light industrial. custom, specialized restorations, vintage furniture, old 50s and 60s. I'm not that old, but my era type of stuff. I specialize in restos and then just the normal run of the mill stuff. Just hodgepodge powder coating. I see a little bit of this, a little bit of that each week. It's never the same thing. So
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Shane, what do? You're in Michigan. We know
Yep,
that.
I am in the outside the Metro Detroit area, about 15 minutes south of Detroit, Wyandotte, Michigan, exactly. I've been coating since 2010, pretty much full time, and I also have a CNC manufacturing facility in Warren, Michigan. As of right now, my coating business is more focused around custom wheels, 3-piece wheels, 2-piece wheels, a lot of wheel repair, full caliper service, and I'm transitioning more into a lot of industrial coatings
Cool.
in the near future here. So
Awesome. Okay. And Shane, just to let you know, you're coming in a little cutty. It's like cutting out or something. So maybe you might have to just go to turn off your video to get a better audio.
okay,
No, I heard them pretty good. I heard them
Did
fine
you?
on my
Pretty well
end.
too.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's me
Yeah,
then.
yours
Okay,
clear to me.
could be me. Just anybody that's on here listening to us. Hey, Nassim, Lee, and Scott, and Tim. Hi, Tim. Welcome. Let us know if we're sounding okay, because we can't tell. It's kind of cutting out on my side, but if we're okay, then we're okay. Okay, next up, Luis, LS Powder Coating. Where are you located?
Hey guys, so I'm Luis from LS Powder Coating, located in West Palm Beach, Florida. Been in
Nice.
business for about 4 to 5 years, and I jumped from banking to powder coating, believe it or not. Yeah. So
Wow.
we focus on basically custom powder coating. We already know what custom means, right? Wheels, calipers, engine parts, and etc.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Jay, Precision.
Yeah, I'm Jay. I'm from Precision Powder of North Carolina. Been in business since 2007, pretty much full time. I don't know what to say I specialize in because I see a little bit of everything all the time. I do a lot of motorcycle parts, a lot of car wheels, light commercial work. I used to do more commercial work, but I've concentrated more on the custom side. The customers are a lot more loyal. That's about it. We're in Pilot Mountain.
Awesome. Tyler?
Yeah, so I'm Tyler Billings, and I own Georgian Powder Coating. That's about an hour north of Toronto. I've done powder coating now for 9 years, so I started around 2016, and I really pride myself in quality. Around here, like, the whole reason I started was there was nobody that did quality work. There was one place that kind of got by, and their customer service was brutal. I was convinced that somebody could do it better, and I was stupid enough to think it was me. And now we're going on almost 10 years, and it was a rough learning process to start, but the last probably 7 years things have been great, and you're always learning something. It's always something fun. I mostly do recreational parts, restoration work, custom work. Like he said, we all know what that entails, but love most of the days. This week's been a little brutal with the heat, but generally it's a lot of fun, and I do love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. And of course, this is a first for Robert too, R&P.
Yeah, I've been kind of skating by and not getting on here, kind of avoiding you guys a little bit. So I guess I'm Robert with R&P Motorsports and Coatings out of Lancaster, Texas. I've been powder coating for probably better part of a decade now, on and off a little bit before that. But if I can prep it and it'll fit in the oven, I'll powder coat it. So I don't care what it is. I'll throw it in the oven and powder coat it. So that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us last minute. And we are missing a couple more guys, actually. We've got Paul, and I think Paul just said, I'm going to throw this in the oven, LOL. Okay. So I think he's coming on. I'm not sure.
He's going to throw this thing.
Yeah, I
Might
think
be
he's
talking
powder
to his
coating,
wife.
and so is Chris from Retro too. So we got some more guys coming on, but we'll just kind of. I'm just going to text him and say, "Come on the show." But he's probably listening right now, but he's just can't do it. Anyways, you guys, I just kind of want to just kind of make an announcement. We got lots of announcements in the front part of this, so I appreciate everybody's patience. But I want to add this. Hold on, let me see if I can add this photo. This is back in 2022. I was working the Benco booth at SEMA. And I don't know if anybody knows, but Scott Morris from SM Powder Coating in Mesa, Arizona, he's in the hospital right now, and they just found out he has liver cancer. And right before this photo, this is him with his. I think he had 4 boys. So one of the people taking the picture is one of his kids. And then the girl in the picture is Cosma, who is Valerie Lennon's daughter from Benco. So she was working the booth that day too. So this is Scott with all his boys, and they just came in to say hi to me, which I thought was just so sweet. And this picture was taken at SEMA, and he was about ready to go in like the next week with some shoulder surgery and stuff like that. So I think he's just had a couple of really rough years, and I just want to dedicate the show to Scott. He is an excellent coder. Him and he actually reached out to me, and we would just kind of text each other every now and then, just, hey, how's it going? Whatever. And he's just been the nicest guy. And we have like a mutual connection here on Maui because I know his sister-in-law. But I know her through school functions and activities and stuff from when the kids were back in college, high school and stuff. So anyways, I just want to dedicate the show to Scott Morris, and yeah, just keep him in your thoughts because he's just another one of us coders out there just doing whatever, just doing the day-to-day. So I know he's got his boys working in the shop now, and that's why he was up at SEMA when I met him that day. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Benco, B17 methylene chloride. As you know, we've done a couple of shows on this new ruling from the EPA. And this is, I just got this yesterday from Benco, from Valerie at Benco. And basically, they're getting together with like some lawyers. The chemical industry is banding together to kind of fight this ruling, and basically what they're going to do, or what they're trying to prove in this lawsuit, is that the EPA isn't being clear about what is an unreasonable risk in use of the product. This is kind of getting serious when I'm reading through this. I will put it in the link. I'll put this PDF in a link in the bottom of this podcast so you can kind of read it yourself. But basically, they're trying to counter the EPA's ruling with, well, you're not being very specific about what is unreasonable risk. And if they've done everything that the EPA has asked of them, they've done all the tests and done all the research. So they're kind of unsure why this is, because they're making exceptions for about 5 other industries, particularly labs that work in photo and adhesives. So they'll be able to use it, but us guys won't.
And the government.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the federal government.
Labs, which are labs and everything. So Yeah, they're just trying to, and I think the EPA is doing something. I don't want to say it's underhanded, but like it's kind of they're trying to get a 2-for-1. I think is what it is, because if they can take methylene chloride down, then it opens them up to a bunch of congressional rules called TSCA rules for other solvents. So you see where the angle is? It's like if they can get methylene chloride knocked out, then this opens up the door for them to knock out other solvents that are commonly used. Anyways, I'm just going to put this in the chat, but I do have a call to action that I want to share with you guys right now. Hold on a second. Let me bring it up. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to share, hold on. I'm going to grab the link. Share this link. I'm going to share this link in the chat for everyone because, and I'm going to share my screen. So this is, I swear to God, all I did was just put this in Chat GDP. And it's just a letter that states, all you got to do is copy and paste. And if you have a Gmail, you can just click this link and it'll open up the email for you. And then all you got to do is copy and paste and just edit your business name, edit the, date and address and all that kind of stuff. Right. And it's just a letter saying like, look, hey, we need this product. And we don't want it taken away from us, right? So I'm going to pop this link in the chat right now, just so you guys can see this. And I just tried to make it as easy as possible. And this will go directly to Valerie, who is the president of Benco. And what we can do is if we all can send a bunch of letters, she's going to share this with the lawyers and kind of just, so if you are a user, you need to be a user, continued user of B17. I sincerely hope that you will fill this out and copy and paste it and send it to her. Anyways, so what do y'all think of that?
Yeah, it's like anything the government does. It's usually not a good thing.
Right. When I start to think about, when I read this TSCA letter or publication on the ruling and what the chemical companies are trying to do, and I think there are some big chemical companies. I mean, Benco is small compared to some of the other chemical companies that are in this lawsuit. Hi.
Yes. Got grandkids
Yeah,
in town, so.
Oh, cool. Hi.
Okay.
I think that it's kind of scary to know that you don't have access to that, because how will we continue to restore valve covers and rims and all the day-to-day stuff? I mean, if you think about all the stuff you have to, strip in a day, and if you can't purchase a B17E strip tank or even Green Solve or any of the others above, what are we going to do? So,
Well, I feel like the methylene chloride's always been the cheapest option for everybody. If they wipe that off, I mean, there's going to be a lot of the smaller shops that aren't going to be able to buy anything. I mean, the little guys can't afford $3,000 and $4,000 barrels of chemicals.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to continue to do what you're doing today without methylene chloride? I just don't know. So I encourage everybody to copy that docs link that I put in the chat and see what we can do about it.
The most common
is that the methylene chlorine, it's the best chemical on the market. It works the best, and it's the cheapest, right? When you compare all the other products. So now you get rid of it, and we have a lesser product, that is going to cost more and going to take us far more time and effort to strip parts versus what we have currently. I mean, it's
Right.
it's a complete oxymoron.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody else?
more so the main reason it's kind of laughable because one of the biggest industries that use methylene chloride is actually the, from what I understand, it's used to actually strip the caffeinated part off of coffee beans. And more so, agriculture uses it way more than our industry. I mean, my biggest concern is part of the reason why a lot of the DIY products that were removed from Home Depot, Ace Hardware, all your hardware stores years ago was it was isolated incident. One individual actually was one death occurred, and it set into action from my small reading. It's very disappointing for the guys that are like kind of the hobbyists that need stripper in their garage and overpack drum to do it. Some of us guys that have been in the industry a little bit longer, you know, we're not going to close up because we can't get stripper. We're going to kind of adapt and deviate to whatever we have to do. Unfortunately, you know, your average cost for a guy to get set up is, you know, you're looking at 10 grand on the small end up to 20,000 if you want a legitimate setup that's going to do day-to-day functions 5 to 7 days a week. And that's just a small side. How about these larger, like the alloy wheel specialist locations? There's a lot of people directly impacted by this, and as well as companies like Benco. What do they have to do? What kind of licensing are they going to have to add in? All the research and development. It goes on and on and on. I'm surprised it actually got this far, and I would like to actually hear, you know, the government's actual reason for the ban itself. It definitely impacts the economy, and I know early in the game, I had reached out to some of our local like lawmakers and representatives and stuff, and we kind of got somewhere. I did work up the chain, but I haven't heard anything back. The Facebook group, I think it's the powder coating group, Jacob Magner, or correct me if I'm wrong on the name. He runs it. I had spoke to him. We had sent some letters out, and we got a little bit of traction, but I never heard back regarding where that went. I'm assuming it didn't go too far. So, I mean, fingers crossed. We have to do it as a group effort because, you know, power is in numbers. If we all participate, get the letters out, still make contact, be kind of polite, we'll say it politely, annoying to whoever we need to have, lobbyists, etc. Because it'll all save us money in the long run. I see a lot of shops that do wheels now may close doors, or they have to deviate away from that, which if you don't do wheels, or if you don't do industrial, what are you going to do? Your market segment's very small. But other than that, that's what we tried doing, and we got a little bit, hopefully now, passed it on to Benco. They have the resources and the lawsuit and the attorneys that can actually make a good impact to save us all. So,
yeah. Well, here's a couple of responses from the, Nassim from Ibrahim Coating. He's in California. It's hard enough. We can't even get denatured alcohol, among other things. Yeah, I mean, wow, that's crazy. Lenny from Tin Works is saying he switched to Green Solve and not looking back. I would say it's definitely on the table, and you might want to start saving your pennies for that, for getting into some kind of a tank situation. That said, there are some other chemicals coming out,
Sorry to interrupt, but there are also other ways to do that. I mean, you can also get a steel drum, get a little tank heater, wrap some insulation around it, because regardless, at the end of the day, if you get a $1,300 55-gallon drum of B17 and it evaporates in no time, or you get a 55-gallon steel drum with a tank heater and then get a $2,000, and there's, now that methylene chloride is starting to become not necessarily obsolete, but there's so much controversy around it, and they're about to do away with it. There's all kinds of numerous companies. I saw that someone was making an eco-friendly heated chemical stripper for like $1,400, and I mean that at that point that's B17 pricing. And also on top of that, if you were kind of smart, you would kind of start to go that way, just because, you know, it's going to go that way. And I don't think it's just a matter of time before everything gets away from methylene chloride, just because it is nasty stuff. I mean, if any of us
Right.
in here have dealt with it, we've got chemical burns up and down our arms, up and down our
Yeah.
legs, neck, all kinds of stuff. And it doesn't matter how
Yeah.
careful you are, you're going to get that stuff on you. But
Yep.
it's just, everything's moving away from methylene chloride. So the more you can stockpile your pennies, and, you know, whether it be get a loan, get a credit card with 0% interest for 18 months, do whatever you can to kind of go to that, you're just going to be ahead of the game. Because whenever this stuff does become, I don't want to say outlawed, but whenever it becomes obsolete, the prices are going to skyrocket. Although at the same time, there are going to be more companies that do come out with an eco-friendly chemical stripper. Start saving your pennies. I mean, if you save $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year, you know, you got 2 years before the stuff becomes illegal anyways. You're most of the way towards a green solve setup or a B17E setup. Or, like I said, I in the last probably 6 months, I've heard of probably 4 or 5 different companies that are making this eco-friendly stuff. So start doing the research now and start stockpiling your pennies, because it's going to get to that point at some time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because actually one of Columbia Coatings, one of the giveaways is NanoPeel, and
Right.
they've kind of bought into NanoPeel, and they had some. Brian's shared a really nice video that they did, and he was really impressed. And I figured, well, you know, we could have another look at that, because, you know, he is someone that's in the forefront of powder coating. Especially to custom coaters. And so, you know, if he's saying it's good, that's, you know, that says a lot, right? That he's putting his, you know.
The only problem we have, though, with these heated strippers is the folks like myself and Shane and our Canadian brothers and sisters and northern, you know, wintertime, it gets, you know, now we haven't had a bad winter in, you know, this year it was nothing, and the year before wasn't bad, but, you know, we go -5, you know, for stretches, -2, -3, 0 for sometimes a couple of weeks at a time. There is no way I can heat my 300-gallon tank, a B17 that I have right now, with, you know, a green initiative. I can't. There's no way.
Well, not only that, but one of the things that we didn't realize with heated tanks is our electric bill.
Right.
It's the one thing that you really need to consider. Because our electric bill went up. It depends on how much stripping we're doing in the E-strip tank, which is a 6-wheel tank from Benco. It's gone up on average $200 to $300 a month, which is kind of minor, I guess, in the sense of, you know, the overall projects you're able to do by stripping it. And certainly Ross has been really happy that we made. He wasn't happy at first because I spent $30,000, but you know, in the end, once he got it installed and started using it and stuff, you know, he's gotten better. Let me just share some of the other comments here. John from LV Strip is saying, adapt and overcome. What we're going to quit? No. So I think there's some new, definitely some new, you know, chemicals coming out on the market because of this. Let's see. Oh, we got Richard. Hi, Richard. Richard's from the UK. Thanks for joining the show, Richard. The UK has replaced methylene chloride. Okay, so check their data sheets. He's just saying they have some other. Well, they've gone. We went and visited their facility there in the UK, and they have the full-on, you know, they have a really nice facility. That's all I'll say about that. You got a nice place, Richard. So let's see. Let's see. P2. I've had great luck with Power Strip Pro. Has anybody heard of that? It works pretty fast, even though it has to be heated. Okay. Tim. Why am I not surprised by this comment, Tim? I'm going to start buying big amounts and sell them to you guys later. Okay.
Hustler. That's what I like to hear.
Right.
Capitalism.
Tim
Well,
has
see,
every
like
right.
Rich said, the reason I went, say I use 1010P. It's actually cheaper than B17, but the reason I went with it, the main deciding factor, was that I didn't need a heated tank. And like Rich said, that is a big part of it. That's a big expense, the setup and running the electricity. But what I've been doing ever since I heard about the thing with the EPA is I've been buying 2 barrels every month, and I'm going to keep doing that until I can't.
Me too.
That'll last you a
Same
while.
thing
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Stock up. Yeah. It's a good point. There was somebody gave me another tip on another company, and I wrote it down on a Post-it, and then when I went and Googled it, it was like 3 times as much for than Benco. And he swears by it, but they're in California, so they need to have their extra, things in order in terms of chemicals.
Everything's extra there.
Yeah. So I'm actually sorry to interrupt again. Whenever it comes to like, I'm down here in the South, and in the summertime, it gets so hot that even the sun on the side of our drum, like you can actually see it's methylene chloride chemical stripper. It actually boils, and we get so much evaporation out of that we're buying at least 2 drums a month. And I mean, we get so much evaporation that we lose so much that it's at the point where now Greensolve or an equivalent is actually in the long run going to be cheaper for us. We've used everything from B17, 1010P, rapid strip, wheel strip, I mean everything under the sun. And we actually just went with the name always slips my mind, but I'll let you guys know I guess after this. But it's like $900 a drum plus shipping. So 2 drums always comes out to whatever it is, $2,000.
Yeah.
But it's like, $24,000 a year. If you think about it, you're in the eco or heated tank eco strip, realm right there. So
And Robert, for reference, can you kind of just roughly tell us, I mean, I have to get into too much detail, but how much rims do you strip, like in a week, a month, whatever? Just give us an idea.
It varies. Sometimes we'll do, 15 sets a week. Sometimes we'll do 3 sets a week. But the week we do 3 sets a week, we're doing,
other stuff,
17 other loads of everything else. So we do everything from industrial stuff to, airplane parts to, I mean, literally, like I said, if it fits in the oven and we can prep it, we powder coat it.
Okay.
So the only thing is, like I said, I've kind of held off as long as I absolutely could, because I'm like methylene chloride through and through. Like I'll fight for it to the death. But it's at the point now where the funds and the money that it's being wasted on the methylene chloride based chemical stripper. We're actually making the switch to Greensolve here relatively soon. And we'll always have methylene, well, I shouldn't say always, as long as we can, we'll have methylene chloride based chemical stripper, just because there's some things that don't get stripped by that stuff. So you essentially have to have it at least a little bit on hand. But it's like I said, I've kind of held off as long as I could. And trust me, I was one of those people that were in all the Facebook groups like, oh, people that have the eco strip, they might as well be vegan because they want to tell everyone that Greensolve is the best thing on the planet and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I know that there are some quirks to the eco-friendly stuff, and I know that if you want like absolutely nothing works as good as brand spanking fresh B17 or like fresh methylene chloride based chemical stripper. But after like all the sludge and stuff like that, I mean, it's to the point where it's kind of a pain. So there's pros and cons to both. It depends on what's best for each person, each company. The smaller guys, they kind of have to go with the smaller stuff, because even me myself, I'm like, oh, whenever you bite that bullet and you got to, fork up that cash. Luckily, there's companies like Greensolve that will do, and I don't want to be like a salesman for these guys by any means, because like I'm only doing it because I kind of have to at this point. But they do have some terms that make it a little bit more beneficial for the smaller guys. So if you only want like a 4-gallon tank or something like that, it's like 20% down, 20% when it ships, and then 10% per month. So you do at least get to use it and pay for it at the same time. And I think it's also interest free as well. So there are pros and cons to both. It depends on what works best for those people. And like you guys up north that have to deal with that super cold temperatures and stuff like that, I can only imagine what the cost is. You'd have to have that thing basically running 24 hours a day, even at least at low temp, just so it doesn't take 3 days to get up to temperature. But someplace down here, like me in the South, where in 6 months out of the year, I get so much evaporation from like B17 or methylene chloride that it's almost it's a waste kind of. So it just depends on your location, your business, and kind of also regulations in that area. I know like some places like in California, they're starting to put the hammer down on those guys, but luckily out here in Texas, it's still kind of the wild west. So like I said, it's dependent on each person and each company.
Well, I've
Yeah.
never used Green Solve, but I've heard that it works excellent on wheels, but on other things, not so much.
Yeah. And so apparently it doesn't trip epoxy at all, which again, that's another one of those things why if you had the B17, at least like don't ever throw it out, always keep it, that way you've got it for something that doesn't work. But the other thing is I've got a buddy out in California that swears he's been trying to begging me to go with Greensolve for the longest time. He said that one of the it was I think a motorcycle frame filled up with Greensolve, and he didn't drain it all. And it actually, whenever he went to outgas it, it blew his door open off on his oven. So also you have to outgas absolutely everything. So apparently if you don't, there's little so like I said, they both have their pros and cons, so it's just do what works, I guess.
I think we're just identifying that things are going to be changing, I guess, and to prepare for changes to come, and maybe kind of consider some of these things that we're talking about for your business, right? And what's going to be best for you guys, right? For everyone. So, that said, I was hoping, earlier in some chats with Paul, he had an extreme accident, and it hospitalized him too. So, it's definitely one of those like what not to do kind of things. That he was going to come on. I don't know. He must be still working. It's still work day with him, right? So, okay. So let me close that, and I'll put that letter down in the link in the description for the podcast, just so all the stuff we're talking about today. After all of that, I am ready for a giveaway. Who's ready for a giveaway? Now, yay. Somebody has to come up with a word for the giveaway. Like hashtag stripper.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, I'm going to put this, I have to set the giveaway up. So it's going to be hashtag stripper. Everybody that's listening right now, either on YouTube or on the link, we've got at least 23 of you, if not more. I want you to put in hashtag stripper and just start putting it in there. I don't think, let me see here. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see, because this seems to be kind of there we go. Hashtag stripper. And go ahead and pop it all in the chat there. Hashtag stripper. And then we're just going to gather as many. Now, if you are listening from far away, outside of the U.S., I don't know if any of these giveaways can apply to you. It just depends. Like I know with the courses and stuff, obviously those are definitely shareable. But if it's a product, it might not be, we may not be able, but just try, and then we'll see. So we've got everybody hashtag stripper in the, oh, good. We're getting a lot of people. Okay, so let's put up the first prize. Let me see. Who's it going to be? What's it going to be? We're talking about Benco.
You might have, well.
It's a big prize, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, we'll wait on that one. I want to do something big. I want to do a big prize.
Oven.
Not yet. We're not that popular yet, but we're getting there. Let's do Scott Coates. Coatings by Coates. I'm supposed to say that. Coatings by Coates. Scott has really, like, he's really stepped up the plate in terms of like what he's donating. He is donating, let's see, what is he donating? I don't know. Let me see. I got to look back. I think it's like, oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. This one. He is donating like 200, I think it's 250. No, wait. I didn't write it down. What did I put? Somebody watch the video. Let me look at my chat with him. It's a lot. It was way more than last time. And I thought I wrote it down, but did anybody watch the... Oh, 250. Yeah, I'm right. 250. So 250, hashtag stripper, Scott Coates. That's a lot of his stuff, right? I mean, I don't know who's bought their stuff, because
That's a good that's good haul.
Yeah, that's a good haul. So very generous. Coatings by Coates. And so let's go ahead and do the draws. We got 17 people. Who's gonna win?
It's like a Wheel of Fortune.
22 Customs. Nice, Paul.
Man,
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I'm gonna let me add Jay to the stage here.
There you go.
Congratulations. Yay.
good job, Paul.
Good job. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do Roro. I think Roro said that he was going to do.
He's going to come to your shop for a week and work for free.
Yeah.
Hello.
Valve cover video.
Right. Valve. Thank you. Valve cover video. So let's do that one again. Hashtag. We got hashtag stripper. It's still the same. Hashtag stripper. So where do I go here? I gotta click on the giveaway tool. Draw again. I think we might have almost everybody that's watching is gonna get a prize today. Almost everybody. Lauren, LS Powder Coating. Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations.
Hey, Rich, can you just take a note for me?
Yep.
On who's winning, and then email it or text it, whatever, as they come in? Thanks. Thank you, Roro. He kind of let me know last minute, so I threw him in. And let's give away one more. Let's do Tiger 5-pound mini pack. So hashtag stripper, if you're just joining the show right now, and you want to win a prize, let's draw one more time. Paul Akins, congratulations. You won a valve cover video course from Roro. Oh, no, Tiger.
No,
5-pound mini pack. Sorry. We just did that one. Okay, awesome. All right. So let's get back to the show.
Note to fellow coders, don't two-tone a frame. It's not fun.
We know that's why you're late. Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry,
Hey, better late than never, buddy. That's all that counts. You made it. That's all that counts. Glad to
Probably
have
a
you.
lot longer than
break after
expected
that.
to pay that far.
Hey, if you can't get here on time, just get here when you can.
Yeah, that's it. What I missed? Did I miss anything cool?
We just talked about Benco so far, and some of the new rulings and announcements that we're making. I have one other announcement, and then we'll get into the full show, and then we'll introduce you after this announcement. Okay, Chris. So, and then we have some awesome Q&A. So let me share this. I'm going to do like a little bit of a commercial. I guess, if you want to call it that. But I want to let everybody know that's watching the show. Next week, Shelby, Ashley, and I are going to be doing four steps to financial success. And we're going to share pretty much all of our, she's got ways to manage your money or how to manage your money better in your powder coating shop. But also I'm going to be going through some of our methods to getting estimates out really quick and stuff. So I just want to let you know that we'll drop the link in the chat. In fact, I'm going to share the link in the chat right now. So I have that. It's just on our Luma. You can get there. It is there is a coupon. It's $25 if you use the coupon. So let me pop this in the chat. Come on, chat. Hello, chat. Well, I'm going to stop sharing that. And then there we go. Let me pop this in the chat.
Just a heads up, my phone's going to go down at 6:05 because I have to pull this frame out of the oven, and then I'll be right back out.
Yeah, then you can pop back in. So yeah, go check that out. There's the link in the description. There is a coupon. Just click the $10 off coupon. It's just $25. It's going to be a 2-hour event, and Shelby Ashley is not only beautiful but smart too, which is very rare. You know, like she's just an awesome girl, and she just wants to help people with their businesses. I'll share the link, what the link looks like in the description here. Just doing a little commercial plug for the show. It's going to be fine. So it's $35, but click on that $10 off coupon and it'll be $25. And you'll definitely get your $25 worth. That's for sure. So also later on in the show she's actually going to give away a whole month of services for free for her CFO course and consulting. So that's a hell of a deal, and I hope somebody wins that one for sure. Like somebody that needs help with their business. So I'm just going to share that right now. And all right. So Chris, where'd he go? Just when we need Chris, he walks away.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
In the oven.
He's had to go check his oven, and he's two-toning. There he is.
The water, it's hot. I'm big.
Okay. Yes, I know. I can see you kind of getting sweaty over there. I'm glad I'm not in Florida. In fact, we were just talking about that this morning, about how hot Florida is. My husband went there on a layover, and he said it was just unbelievably unbearable.
The heat's not that bad. The humidity is the worst part about it. Like it's just that, like where you're wet. It's like a wet heat, and it's not fun. Like it's just not powder coating. Like, you pretty much, we go from being in the shop to going outside to get like somewhat of a cool down, and then go into the AC because it doesn't really, your body doesn't like going from 113 to 75 at like switch of a dime. So we have like a little routine. We go outside, walk through the bay door, and then come back through the front door, and then that's how we get to the AC.
Yeah. And so you're with Retro Powder Coating. And how long have you been coating? And just give us a couple sentences on what it is you specialize in.
All right. I've been coating for 4 years. And in 4 years, I've learned a crazy amount of skills with powder coating because I'm not scared to try things. I'm not scared to redo things. I try to come into this market. I've been in the automotive industry my whole life, so I try to come into this industry and kind of just go after the automotive market. Do like the lifted trucks and do a lot of car frames, as you guys can tell. And then I push my limits every day. I think powder coating is cool. Like I wish I got into it way sooner, but everything happens in life for a reason. But you'll always see, if you follow my stories or follow my page, like I'm always trying to push the bar. Like I literally we don't know the limitations right now. I think every day, like I think of ideas, like for instance, this jammer right here. that won me the prismatic giveaway.
Yeah. The
Faded,
Squid Games.
triple tone. Yeah.
I call
Then we
them the
did this
Squid
one
Game.
today with a little tie
Oh,
dye,
that's cool.
effect going on with
That's
it.
Oh
fucking
yeah, I
sick.
like that.
So yeah, it's a little different.
Put it up to the screen a little closer.
So it's got the
Oh
teal
wow.
in
Yeah,
it. So yeah, I pushed the limits. I think
I like that. Yeah.
I just try to push myself harder than I went the day before, and like I said, I'm not scared to redo something. Like that's the only way I'm gonna learn 100% if something can be done or not. Like you could tell me, hey, listen, that stove is hot, and I'm gonna go touch it. Like that's the person I am. So yeah, so I pretty much carry that with me. That's just how I go about my daily routine. To push 2 times harder than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
It's got me to where I'm at right now. And like I said, I'm still learning every day. It's been a fun 4 years, but I can't wait to see what the years to come have in store for me.
Well, one thing
that's
about powder coating is if you think you've learned everything, you're not going to go very far.
Oh no,
Not going far at
every,
all. Every
Nope.
day.
Always something.
Every day.
Every day.
whether
And
it's color you never
know-
sprayed before or different, like for instance, like Florida is so it's bipolar. It'd be beautiful and then it'd just start pouring and like the humidity crazy worse. Powder doesn't stick. And it's like that's why you got to be ready to switch on the fly. Like that's how I look at it. Like you got to be able to kick into high gear and figure it out because there's not really much more to it, but to do it is my biggest thing.
Well, Rich, you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to say that, Retro, Chris brings up a point, and that is he's willing to make the trip to the strip tank. And John and I have had this conversation in the past. In the beginning, when we started this, we didn't have a group like this. We didn't have the pages. We didn't have, and I've helped some young guys that are starting in the game, and they're like, well, tell me about this. Tell me this. How do you do this? And I said, you know how you do it? You go to the strip tank. That's how you do it because you screwed it up and you redo it, and you redo it again, and then you figure out what you did wrong, and when you master it. But the only way you get that information is by making that mistake yourself.
Yep.
I can't tell you what the settings are. I can't tell you with Retro's humidity, what he's dealing with, what I'm dealing with, what John's got going on, what you guys got going on, Ross. I mean, everybody's so different. The only way you learn is make that trip to the strip tank and redo it until you get it right. Then you write that down and you figure out what you did that made it work this time. And that's how you learn this game. I'm not giving you, I can't give you that information. The only information I can give you is just try it. If it works, success. If it doesn't work, strip it and redo it. That's how we learn this game.
I'm going to add one more thing, and that's something that Chris mentioned earlier really quickly. That was confidence, right? When he approaches something, he approaches it with confidence, okay? He's not doing this, like, ooh, no.
Nope.
You're talking about science and chemistry and stuff, and you have to know you're the metallurgist.
Sometimes luck.
Right? Sometimes luck. Sometimes
luck.
There's a lot.
Prayer.
You cannot be shy about it, and I'm just gonna, I know we were kind of joking in one of our little chitty chat things this morning because Prismatic put up a video of some chick, influencer. I mean, God knows I don't have 580,000 followers, but the whole, sometimes it was just a little like for coders watching this, it's well, clearly it wasn't for us, right? Because we were nitpicking everything about what was happening.
Yeah, it was cringeworthy.
It was,
And it's
it was kind
misleading
of,
because somebody who's trying to learn.
it is so true, Tyler. So, I think that we could all do everyone some good PR for custom coding to share what we just shared now, like confidence, luck, and just willing to make a mistake.
I mean, I believe like that's you can't be scared, like especially in the custom coding world, like you can't be scared to try something. Like because they're at the end of the day, like you just put your limits right there. So like when you get scared to try something, that's your limits, and that's where you're going to be happy with, and that's all you're ever going to push to. So it's like, to me, like I'll go to the strip tank, I'll go have an acid party, I don't care. Like to me, like it's metal, I could strip it and I could try it again. Like that's where I come up with a lot of the crazy ideas that I have and a lot of the crazy things that I pull off because of that mentality. I don't know until I try it. If I try
But
a time and
Chris,
it doesn't work, try it a second time.
you just did a two-toned
Frame.
yeah. How did that turn out? Because that's what or it's in the oven right now. Is that what's going on?
No, about like 9 minutes.
10 minutes.
Are you going to show us?
Of course.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. But I mean, you wouldn't have put that thing in the oven if things were not going right for you, right?
No.
Being that it's so big. Yeah.
I would have blew it off and just tried it enough. But there's like certain things to where like today when I came in, my mindset was to cover this frame, and that was it. So there was no turning back. There was no nothing. Like I knew coming in this morning that I was knocking this frame out. It took a little bit longer than expected, but there was nothing else on my mind besides doing that. And I've done one prior. I've done a two-tone frame already, but it was a smaller two-tone section. So where this one has the whole center section, the motor mounts, a little tank support. It's all so the whole outside of the frame is Nardo gray, and the whole inside's satin black.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, that's
Looking
nice.
forward to that. Yeah.
And I think a lot like what Chris said, a lot of the success in this business is more about mindset than it is anything else. Like when you wake up every day, you're not going to fail. You're going to do what needs to be done, and you're going to get better than you were yesterday. And if you don't have that mindset, you're not going to do well.
And
100%.
I don't really think it's much failing. Like to me, it's more of a lesson. Like I don't ever look at nothing as a failure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not done. So the only way it's going to fail is if I just give up on it. And like, that's not, I don't have that mentality. Like I'm hard headed and I'm going to keep trying. I'll try it 3, 4, 5, 6 times because until I really find out that I can't do this, then that's when I'll wave the red flag and I'll call it quits.
Yeah. Kevin says, learn the why. I love that, Kevin. That is so simple and so true.
Yep.
You know, let's see what else. Let's see. Anybody else want to comment? Luis, you want to comment on that, or Shane?
Yeah, no, basically, yeah, I got something to say. Basically, I mean, the same thing, don't be afraid to redo. I mean, there's only one way to get it done, and it's just the right way, I mean, there is no cut corners. If you see, there is a lot of ways you can tell something's going to go wrong before you even put it in the oven. So, I mean, if you're following the steps, I bet if you're doing powder coating, you're not, I mean, you already know what you're doing, or at least you have a base knowledge of what you have to do. If you follow the steps, I mean, right prep, obviously, and then
like you just said, not to cut you short, but powder coating shows you signs before it even gets to that point. And at least guys, like what I look for when doing like custom work, like I can tell before I
feel
even
like I need to take notes.
before I roll around, I know whether it's going to come out all right or not. Like pretty much, like if it's either like a multiple, like the powder will give you signs when it's not happening, and like you just know right then and there, like okay, today's not the day. Blow it off because it's just powder, and I'll get back to it another day. Or it might be like, for instance, here with the humidity and stuff, like the humidity and the moisture in the air might not allow it to do what it's supposed to do. So it's like, okay, I can't do this today. Let's try this tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm trying to write the notes down, but these are really good points, because some of the stuff I haven't, we sometimes can talk about it in the chat or in Facebook groups, God forbid, but like it's nice to kind of maybe try to put it all on one in one, at least in a video format, right? So somebody can watch this over and over again and learn from what we're talking about, because there is nothing like that right now. You know, somebody makes a post, we comment, and then move on to the next, move on to the next. And same thing with a chat, it's even faster. So it's kind of cool that we're talking about these things. Robert, I don't know if you were listening in on that before. We were just talking about some of the things about and Shane, I know, do you have do you want to comment, or Tyler? We were just talking about confidence and mindset behind powder coating.
I mean, how I've looked at it, I've been doing this 14 years, and I think at some point all of us can admit, everybody in the game, if you don't admit, you're just a liar. We've all taken a shortcut at one time, thinking that we knew best, and either it passed or it showed its ugly face. More so years ago, I was early in the game. I didn't understand magnesium and B17 are not friends. And I totaled out a customer's valve cover. It was my first shop I had. I tossed it in the chemist stripper, ran to the store next door, and walking distance, I came back. My shop was filled full of a fog, mysterious fog. Luckily, I ran back to that store and grabbed a handful of baking soda boxes. Had the fire department there. Expensive lesson, very stupid. I didn't know any better. This is before these groups, right? So that was kind of like a wake-up call. You know, you learn every day. If you say you don't learn something every day, then, you know,
you're full of it.
You're full of shit. Yeah. And that goes through all aspects of life. I would say, oh God.
Check the oven.
Okay.
Bye. Good luck.
No,
yeah. That spring.
Well, he's going to give us a video, hopefully, if it looks good.
Well, I think more so, like, we've all learned a lesson, whether it be in like coding application. I mean, multiple times I've reached out to guys like, he's in the chat, Soka. He's been a huge help over the years. I've pestered him about stupid questions, and he's always taken the time. I admire him for that, because there's things that I haven't experienced that, and he has. Same thing with Rich. Me and Rich talk. Oh God, we're like phone buddies now. You know, stupid issues you come across, and you kind of just, I think you're proceeding with caution, but also with confidence, or you want the extra confidence. You reach out to somebody in the industry and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. What would you do? And you kind of already know the answer, but sometimes it's nice to have a second opinion, and then you can kind of think from there. But, you know, that's the nice thing with Google, Facebook groups and stuff. The only thing that I can't stand now is you get in some of these Facebook groups, not to go way off topic, but, you know, you get on these groups, and some people, they're like, why do I have these spots? And, you know, there's a search function, there's a tool. They didn't approach the job with confidence. Like, what's wrong? Your preps, I get it if you're early in the game. But, and I've seen a couple posts last week or this started this week, you know, these guys kept having issues with parts over and over again. And I hate to comment because I don't want to come off as, you know, rude or a prick, but, you know, you literally put out your process right there in the comments, and I could see the issue right there. And if you can't see that, like, you got to think a little bit extra, but, like, you know, you should have a procedure that you do in your shop. This is a standard I set. If you're going to do your prep, look over your prep, use a flashlight. Do you see any spots? Did you touch it with your hands? You know, especially in the summertime, are you draining your tanks? So you're draining your air dryers. Are you doing your airline test? You blowing it on a paper towel? There's a bunch of different options to avoid stupid mistakes, but it still happens though, because some of us right now, most of us are slammed. We overlook things, even veteran coders, and I'm not the best by any means, but like, I've been in the game a long time. I've experienced a lot of stuff. I've made huge mistakes. I've spent a lot of time at the strip tank, more so than I like to admit, but you know what though?
I was going to say, I stripped something. I stripped and redid something just yesterday. So it happens to everyone. It always happens. It's going to happen forever. Going to have some freak thing. Like a plug actually popped off of one part, shot across my rack. Or not a plug, it's actually a cap. Shot across my rack and landed on a chrome-based wheel. So, and that was like full cure. So it's like, So it happens to everyone. Freak stuff happens. So just
Right.
If everyone just understands that they're going to strip stuff, they're going to redo stuff forever.
Yep.
It's part of the game.
That, and
It is.
I know I want Tyler to chime in on this next. Hold on just a minute, Chris, because I know you're excited. But like, just to kind of wrap up the topic, and this is kind of where I wanted to go dive a little bit into this is, there's these videos out there, or there's people that are out there that are posting these videos, and either it's just curated drama is, I guess, for lack of a better word, it's sort of curated drama that is superfluous and doesn't need to be, because it's misleading, especially to a lot of new people coming into the trade. And so it confuses people. And I just hope that everyone here listening on the show, or going to be listening, or here as a guest, the reason why these guys are here is because they're for real, right? There are a few others that are not for real, and they won't be featured here because of that. So check yourself, and just know that what you're putting out there is honesty and integrity, for the sake of all of us, right? And that's all I'm going to say. Tyler, do you have any comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Luis and Shane were talking about there. It's like, once you figure out your system and your process, stick to the steps. Don't skip the steps. Once you skip a step, that's when you're going to make mistakes. Obviously, not afraid to go to the strip tank like everybody else, but there's also stupid mistakes that don't have to happen. If you're rushing things, sometimes you just have to take that deep breath before you start spraying something. Make sure you got your headlamp on, or an inspection light, because the amount of times I think I've sprayed a simple part without a headlamp, just no problem. After it cures, I realize I sprayed a light spot. And it's just one of those simple little things that can save you so much time at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that time really adds up. If you have to strip 2 or 3 small parts in a batch, even, you're going to be stripping, blasting, and recoating all over again. So you just added hours to your day. So the more you can be repeatable in your process and just kind of ingrain that in your head, the better you're going to be. And what I've actually done recently is I do a lot of repetitive parts. So certain types of brake calipers or certain sizes of wheels. So I've started building a cure sheet. So like this part takes this long to fully cure. So I don't have to sit there and babysit it necessarily as much. I'm still checking it to make sure, an element didn't go out and it's not getting to temp, but I'm still checking it. But in the back of my mind, I know it's going to be fun, because I've done that part 18 times in the last month. And I don't have to sit there and babysit it anymore.
Yeah, that's so well said. And I know Chris is so Chris, before you start showing us, I want to figure out how to adjust the panel so you, like, you're front and center and everybody else is off to the side. So here, give me a second here. I don't know how.
First time on the show and the guy's got the whole screen. I mean, come on, man. What's going on?
I don't know how to, okay, there's that. There's that. But I can't just solo layout, but that's just, okay, so maybe that's me.
That's you. So now move Chris into your spot.
I know. How do I don't know. I got to figure out how to do that. Okay, well, forget it. I'm trying, but it's not working. So here. I think this is the
center. Yeah.
There we go. I know. Trying to get him here. Maybe I can. There's a little solo layout. Hello.
There we
go. Yay.
There you go. You got it.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
You missed a spot.
Yeah.
Right there.
What's that big fingerprint?
Hey, is that a sag right there? Is that a sag right there? No, that's 710 sag. I'm sorry.
So obviously we all know that when satin comes out, it's actually glossy and then it dies down. So everything in the center is going to be satin.
That's a beautiful combo.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So yeah.
How long did it take you? About 20 minutes.
I wish. I wish. If I could do these in 20 minutes, shit.
You'd be a rich man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all the suspension components are going satin. The tank's going satin. Like, I'm doing the whole car. So I have the rear end for it. I have the control arms. I have the drive shaft. I have the tranny mount. I have the bumper supports. The bumper brackets are up there. I pretty much have everything for this. I mean, a little tank mounts right here. So I had to do the brackets to match the rest of the whole gig.
That dude's got some deep pockets.
It's kind of hard to two-tone something without straight lines, so you have to make your own lines in a situation like this, around welds and like whatnot. So it's like little things like that, to where like I followed the weld instead of just making a circle. So
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you make that decision, or was that something that you and your customer decided on?
no, most of my customers just say, do what you do. This is what I want.
Okay.
So they kind of give me the free run in the park.
That's nice.
I mean, it's more of, they know if you come to me with an idea and it might not be the best idea, I'm just going to tell you, hey, well, let's try this. Oh, I like that better. And then, okay, here we go. Just let him do what he does and just pay him what he asks for.
Wow, that's amazing. I've never seen that before.
Is this a lower truck?
This is actually the second frame I've done two-tone. The last one was just this section here, and it was gloss black and shocker. So this one went a little bit more. I mean, I even went as far as two-toning the motor mounts. Why? Because why not? I mean, you're never going to see them, but why not?
Very cool, Chris. Very cool.
That is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That looks fire.
Always killing stuff, man. This guy,
Right.
you know, being an old man, these guys, they inspire me every day. I'm not lying. I say that, man. Being an old man here, these guys keep this old man grinding.
Hey, I don't think there's an age limit for powder coating. As long as you love it, as long as you love it and enjoy it, I think. I mean, honestly,
that's it.
I've only been doing this for 4 years, and if I would have known, I would have loved it this much. But I didn't. And then just.
Okay, I'm adjusting my screen here. I'm doing something wrong. So I got you off of the solo.
Yep.
Here we go. That looks
There you
better.
go.
Have to remember which one I'm doing.
That's cool.
Oh, Steve's here. Steve from Powder Coating Okinawa. Hi, Steve. It was kind of early for him. It was like 6 a.m. we went live over in Okinawa. So I said, put on a hot cup of coffee, get up early. Let's see what else. Lee says inspiration. Yeah. I think that's why a lot of these guys are in this group right now, is because they inspire me, and I know they inspire you guys. So, you know, I hope to kind of continue on with a lot of this, you know, kind of show. Certainly the sponsors are totally, that's where I'm getting most of my encouragement from, is everybody's like, oh yeah, here, take this, give that, you know.
P2 custom, that's beautiful. How much did you charge, if you don't mind? What are you are we talking about the frame? Are we talking about the cap that I just showed you?
I don't know. Just answer it how you think.
Frame total job was like $3,600. That cap, if I was to do that for someone, that's a display. But if I was to do a set of caps like that, probably $600. Spring set like this, $450 for 3 springs. Yeah. So it all depends. I mean, I feel like your price is what your price. I don't think anybody, like, I don't go based on like anybody around, like what other shops are charging. Like, I'm not them. Like, I don't do what they're doing, and I don't want to be them. So my price is my price, and that's just how I feel about it. And I've been winging it since day one, and I'm still here. So yeah, I guess winging it works sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to get into like actual pricing, but you know, because it does vary, and we know that, but there are certain things to consider when you're presented with a job. So maybe we can kind of talk about, I mean, we talked earlier about processes and stuff about how to do a job, but like, what are the parameters that you consider when you're doing like old school parts or valve covers?
Hold on one sec. I'll be right back. Right?
Yeah. Like, is there anything specific that you guys when you're presented with a new job, and when I say new, I mean new to you, new customer, new whatever, are there certain things that you look at, or what goes on in your mind? Somebody brings
Prep
you,
time.
right? Okay.
Prep time,
Prep time's going to
condition
be
of the
major.
metal, condition of the
Robert?
metal.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Liz.
So one of the main things that because we get people that want all kinds of wild, crazy stuff. So the very first thing that I do that judges the job is, do I go, oh, because if that's the case, it's like plus 40% right off the bat. Because if you do that, it's going to be a pain in the ass. You're probably going to have to strip it at least one time. A lot of the stuff that I do, it's like, and some of these other guys in here too, it's like you don't really know how. You got to think about it real hard. You got to come back to it. Do I got to brush this first? Do I got to polish this first? Is it brush polish combo plus two-tone? Is it, or we're doing the caps and stuff like that? So everything is pretty much one-off. Gloss black, easy. X price. Two-tone, X price, kind of easy. And then once you start getting into the two-tone, is it two-tone with each two-tone color is going to be a two-stage finish, and then you got to, so it's the main thing is it's plus 40% right off the bat.
Yeah, so you're going off of your gut feeling.
Yes.
That's what you're doing when you're looking at something. That's really smart, actually. It's a good way to check it,
Yeah.
how
So
long you're gonna.
Typically those jobs also take twice as long. So if you think about it as well, if you can do one set of gloss black wheels in 3 hours start to finish, and you do a two-tone set that takes you 3 days, and you're only making double the price, you're losing out on a bunch of money. So you got to think about it smart, like a business person as well, not just like, oh crap, is this going to be high? You got to think about your time, materials, all that stuff. So can I do 5 sets of gloss black wheels in the time that I'm doing this one thing, and this is zero headache, and I can spray it blindfolded, and I know that there's not going to be any stripping, any redoing, any imperfections, whatever, versus this, I would rather do 15 sets of gloss black than one set that's going to be fighting me for 4 days.
Right.
So one thing that I've learned too with quoting custom jobs, the first thing I do is so when a customer comes to me with a job, and I kind of feel it out before they come to me. So I always shoot crazy high. I'll shoot crazy. If I get any type of okay, this isn't gonna work. And then the reason why I always shoot high is because I know in my this is what I'm going to charge, but let me just put this out here as for this two-tone, the frame. I originally quoted him $4,400. And he did quite. I was like, hey, cool. I was like, what went back discussing cost. And then when I sat front numbers and about the time I had the whole everything, and then when I came back to him and told him 30, now you kind of the customer feels better.
Yeah. Oh, he just lost out. But I think I got what he was saying there, was that he'll start with a price, get that feedback from the customer. And I think I just want to kind of add to that, because that's actually not a bad strategy, because you're kind of, remember, if he's going to be known now for doing two-tone frames, then the word is going to get out, and then eventually he'll be able to get that 4,400, right?
Of course.
Because by the time you get to the 5th person that wants that, you're now confident in saying, okay, MF 4,400.
So here I'm
because
going to
he's known for it.
Just on frames alone. So there's a couple of shops that down here that do frames. And when I first started, I was like, okay, let me just price match. And then I took a couple of their jobs. I've redone a couple of their jobs. There's no reason why. And then I upped my. And then as I kept going about things, I upped it again. I feel like there is no limitation to we're artists. I believe every last one of us is an artist.
Yeah,
so there's a reason
definitely.
why that this picture might cost $10, but this picture is $10 million. It's the same thing. You get what I'm saying? It was just somebody's vision that they brought to life. So why should I limit myself to what I should or what I can charge for something if I feel like a different type of artist?
Right.
I explain to customers all the time. I compare it to tattoos.
I tell them, you can get this tattoo for $50 from somebody, and you can get that same tattoo for $500 from somebody. Which one do you want? That's the coder that you need.
I like this one here. Under promise and over deliver.
Always.
Yeah,
Always. Yeah.
we're definitely
Especially for timelines.
abiders of that for sure. Because that's how you build your reputation.
Always. So my other thing, so like my turnaround time is, and I tell people when they drop stuff off, when I'm happy. So if you're in a rush and you don't tell me that right now, don't call me in 3 days and be like, yo, how are my parts doing? Because we're not
The
on the same.
worst.
So that's why, like, I also run my business a lot different. Like, I don't take deposits from anybody prior to job completion.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't either.
No, I don't either.
The simple fact. Oh, you didn't fit. Well, here you go. Here's your rusty parts back. No harm, no foul. You have a great day.
See ya.
Yeah.
Well, on a legal standpoint, and I know it depends on the state you're in as well, but when you take a deposit from somebody or a partial payment, initially you're opening a line of credit. So from that point forward, they have as long as they need to pay it off. And I did not know that. I had to learn that the hard way. But
Wow.
again, it depends on your state.
That's how it is in Canada as well.
See
Yeah,
this?
Saves me a headache, because I feel like once people feel like they give you money, they feel like now they're entitled to your time because they gave you to where.
I think, yeah, I get that a little bit. Do me a favor, Chris, because you're cutting out on my side. I don't know. Everybody hear him okay?
Yeah.
He's breaking up.
Yeah, he's breaking
Raise
up.
your phone up. Your speaker's on the bottom, and it's your microphone and everything is on the bottom. So whenever
Yeah.
the wife does
We're
that
just-
all the time too.
Just turn off your screen for a moment while you're talking. See, this is $200 for handlebars. The kid just handed it to me before he left. I guess he felt bad or guilt. Like I said, oh, you don't need to pay anything. Well, he handed me 200 anyways. And Ross won't even put this in his wallet, or he wouldn't even let me give it to him. He goes, I don't take cash because I don't want my job jinxed. So he's actually on the superstitious level of it, right? Because money carries power. So it's sitting here in the desk drawer. But he's got a thing with just even the transfer of money and the job itself.
It
So
also feels way better after the job when you get the money instead of up front.
Yeah.
Then you finish the
Yeah.
job and it's like, all right, well, I already had it. Like, fuck, you don't have the
And
incentive.
it hangs over your head. Yeah.
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 I usually always spend it before I get the job done. And then when the job's done, I feel like I did it for nothing.
I mean, if you want to see, I do quite a few frames. Yeah, I'm sitting on one right now. That's all rusty. I got another one over there. I got 4 at the sandblaster, so I technically have 6 frames right now plus 2 inside. So like frames
Get that
to
money.
me, they literally blew up, and it's kind of like my corner in the market right now. And like I just don't bother nobody, so I just keep to myself. I do what I do, and I have fun doing it.
yeah.
Because I believe
And
Lewis isn't. He's not far from me. Where'd he go? Is he still in here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yep. You're not far from me. I think we talked one day in the group chat. I think he's probably 20 minutes north of me, if that. And like I'm very like South Florida's kind of crazy. It's cutthroat, whatnot. I'm more of the opposite. So like if there's something like I can't get to, like I'll refer him to him. Like listen, he's a little bit farther north. Give him a call. Let him see if maybe he can take care of it for you. I just can't touch it right now for whatever XYZ amount of weeks. So I like coming into this industry, like I've always wanted to be the one to lift up other coders, help other coders, support other coders. Because I feel, like I said, we're all individual artists. So like I respect your art form. I respect everybody in our group chat's art form. Like that motivates me. When I see somebody doing something, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can try this. Or I didn't even think of that idea. Let me go try that. So it's like one of those things to where I think there's so much you can learn from everybody in this industry, whether it's good or bad. And that's what makes this fun to me every day.
yeah. Well, we got Shelby Ashley, who's doing the financial success workshop for me. She's on, and she says, I tell clients all the time, you are not your customer's bank. Well said. So with that, I'm ready for another giveaway time. Let's give away that financial success workshop. So everybody in the comments, go ahead and put stripper or hashtag stripper if you haven't already. If you've just joined us, put hashtag stripper in the comments. We've got quite a few. We got even more entries than we had before, so that's good. So more people have joined it in. If you haven't put that hashtag, let me share my screen. If you don't know how to spell stripper.
Retro's over here flexing.
No comment.
Paul was our last winner. So let's put up the, we're going to give away the.
So here, while you're doing that, this frame right here, I redid this on my own dime, blasted it, reblasted it, and did the whole thing over because I wasn't happy with it the first time. And like the customer thought I was crazy, but to me, it's more of, he's like, there's those parts you probably won't see. But to me, it's more about knowing that I did it correctly, did it right, and it was 100% from when it left here. That those are certain things that like I just take pride in. So like to me, it's more about the pride aspect and doing things the right way than it is about like, yes, the money is great, the money is always good, but to me, it's more about delivering a product that you're happy with, and like that's my biggest thing. It's like and that's why I tell people like it's not leaving here until I'm happy with it. And I'm an anal picky son of a bitch, and that's just where I take pride in it and stuff. So it's like certain things to where most people probably would have let that frame leave, but like to me, it's not happening.
Yeah. Well said, Chris. Okay, so we're gonna do. So this is Shelby Ashley. We're doing a webinar next week, and we're gonna give away this. She wants to offer a 1 month free of CFO services to one person. And that is going to be part of if you attend the live. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away a free admittance to the financial workshop. And then when we're in the financial workshop, if you're joining in, we're going to give away 1 month free of services in that workshop. So I don't want to confuse anybody. I'll just repeat it right here. We're basically going to be doing a financial success workshop. You get $10 off to get in, so that drops the price to $25. It's like a 2-hour thing live with me and Shelby. She's going to give you a whole laydown on doing your financials, how to do your financials, or what your financials can get you. Because sometimes you just don't know, you just look at numbers and you don't know what they mean or whatever. If you're struggling with that, and then I'm going to give you, my portion of it is I'm giving you all of our key strategies here at Maui Powder Works about how we get pricing and how we do pricing and stuff. So with that, let's give away a free webinar. So here we go. We got 22 people. If you've just joined us, hurry up and put in hashtag stripper, hashtag stripper. Here we go. Hey, Shane.
Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I win.
Congratulations. You're going to be in our webinar next week. So make some time.
Sweet.
Okay. Next one is let's do prismatic. Let's do prismatic. Anybody into prismatic these days? Let's do prismatic.
No comment.
Prismatic is doing where's their logo? How come their logo is not coming up? Oh, because I'm still in this one screen. They are giving away, they're giving away $250 plus swag, same like last time. So $250 from Prismatic. There it is. Plus swag. Let's draw again. Here we go. Luke, Highland Powder. Nice. Congrats, Luke. Well done. Okay. And one more. Let's do one more. trying to think of all the stuff we have. Let's see, what do we have? So that's prismatic. We've done coats. We've done row. Let's do the rest of the Tiger mini packs. So we're going to give away one each 5-pound mini pack of Tiger. Anyone you want. Just have to decide if you want to try a black or a white or a gray or outdoor rated or whatever. So here we go. Lee, congratulations, Lee. Lee Hines has won 5-pound mini pack from Tiger. And their stuff, I mean, I pay over $100 for 5-pound mini packs. So, but they charge me more for shipping. But
I do too.
so let's do one more 5-pound mini pack.
Tell Roro to stop being cheap and give something else away.
Give a week of his time. I'm telling you.
Yeah, tell him he's got to
Actually,
fly out all expenses.
Yeah.
On his own dime.
Yeah.
Glass City Powder just won Tiger 5-pound mini pack. So just so you know, anybody that's winning here today, we're going to be, obviously emailing you, CCing you on an email for the people that are participating, so you know how to get your prize, collect your prize. Okay. Let's how we doing on time? 12:31. Okay. Let's give away one more. Let's do Columbia now, because things are wrapping up. We're gonna do, it's 2 $100 gift cards. So we'll do one right now, and then we'll finish up with the last 3 at the end of the show. So Columbia, $100. And just so you know, they donated $200 plus the nanner peels. So there's 3 prizes coming from Columbia. He asked me what I wanted to do. I said, let's break it up into 2 $100 gift cards and then the nanner peel. So this is for $100 of Columbia coating credit. Rob, Caliber Coatings, Rehab. All right. Congratulations, Rob. Okay, so let's stop sharing and we'll get back to the chat. Okay, so what's up next? Tyler, you have an interesting experience, and I want to kind of give you kind of the lead on this, because you've gone through quite a bit of, we were earlier today, we were talking about Benco and some of the problems with stripping and the safety at work and stuff. So what you're about to talk about here is just a lot of your own experience and how important safety is at work. And you don't have to give us too much detail about what you've gone on in the last couple of years, but it's been rough, and I think you have something really important to say.
Yeah, this is thank you for the time. This is kind of sidetracked from powder coating in a sense, but also very important. So most of us were all into motorsports or some kind of sport, something dangerous at some point in our lives, and a head injury is a part of all that, or can be part of all that. The risk of a head injury is at least there. 2.5 years ago, I was getting ready for my snowmobile racing season, and I was practicing at a dirt bike track, and I had my bike quit on me off the takeoff of a pretty large jump and landed on my head, had the bike crush me. And long story short, after everything kind of settled out, I was partially blind. I could only see shadows, had such bad head trauma that my hearing was also impaired. Motor skills were impaired. There's a whole bunch of medical problems that came along with that. And at first, when I actually got in this accident, I was okay for 5 weeks. And what happened was I stressed my body out doing something I shouldn't have been doing, not realizing how bad my head trauma was. So for 5 weeks, I was fine. And one morning I woke up after 5 weeks of being okay post head trauma with all these symptoms: blind, hearing impairment, motor skills, extreme nauseousness. And this was all because I didn't look after myself after a head injury. So what that came down to was months and months of extreme rehab, physical therapy, tons of other therapies. And with that happening, it really makes you realize how much you do have to look after yourself. Even powder coating, there can be a head injury in the workplace. There can be lots of injuries in the workplace. Paul in the group chat, he got covered with B17. So you kind of have to have those protocols in place. But with a head injury like this, it can really take you out of work for a long time. I think I didn't work for probably close to 8 months. And when I came back to work, I thought I was okay, and I'd be spraying some parts, and after I'd look them over, they'd be good. And, I'd have somebody else check them for me, and they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this shit's fucked. Like, there's light spots everywhere. There's stuff in the coatings. Like, you're missing spots everywhere. Like not one of these 300 parts you just sprayed are good. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I thought I was fine. Like, my vision seems good, all this. And then it leads you down another rabbit hole of, a whole bunch of other bullshit. But this can happen to anybody, and it's really important. I know me and Kim talked earlier this week. Ross had a head injury on a motorcycle, and things like this, they can affect obviously your business, all of our powder coating businesses, relationships, a ton of other things. It puts a lot of stress on everything financially, on your spouse, on your business. It can lead you down a pretty nasty hole. And I'm thankful to be on the other side of that finally. But the last couple of years has definitely been rough, to say the least. So you definitely really have to look after yourself and be hyper aware of certain situations you can put yourself in, whether you're like outside blasting with an industrial blaster. It just takes one hose blowout to cover you in sandblasting sand and just eat your skin away. One slip up with B17 could kill you. Something dropping on your head, like what happened to Ross, could affect you for months to come. So you really have to look after yourself and be hyper aware of certain processes and things you're doing that can harm you and your future.
Yeah, and what are you going to do about it after? I mean, I can't powder coat, right? This has been the struggle for the last 2 years for us. But I want to tell you something funny, because after you and I talked a couple days ago, he goes, his dad called on Father's Day and said, I'm flying in. Can I stay with you guys for a few days? And he's like, yeah. So he gets all excited. He goes to the store, picks up a rack of, ribs, a couple ribs, and he goes to set up his, get ready, and it's like a slow cooker thing, right? He takes the packaging and he walks out the door and goes to take it out in the trash. And I know that this is going to sound really minor, but he takes that out, but the trash is full. Like, how come he didn't take the trash out? And I know that sounds like a typical like wife husband kind of argument. It wasn't even an argument, but just like, and when he went out the door with the packaging, I was like, where's he going? And then last night when I got home, I said, you didn't check the trash? And he's like, oh no, I didn't. It didn't even dawn on me to check the trash. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I know Tyler's going, yep, because there's things that you kind of miss with a head injury, and there's not much to do. But, we started the show off today talking about Scott Morris and SM powder coating, and I can only imagine what his family's having to go through right now. But, I guess the point of sharing this with Tyler today is, guys, you don't really think about consequences or the day after tomorrow kind of thing. And we can certainly vouch for that. Our sales are off 30% from the fires from last year, or from the last 6 months even. And that's with grant money and stuff that I'm getting from the state. So, you have to kind of think about these things, or put contingencies in place for your family members, at least, so that they can navigate what's going to happen after. And I know that sounds really I don't want to be negative or anything when I say that, but like, has anybody gone through this in their business yet? And what have you done?
So I just wanted to add one more thing. As far as head injuries go, like it's just like a headache. Like if you get really bad headaches, migraines, it'll take down a full grown ass man. And same with head injuries. No one's tougher than a head injury. And we've all known somebody to have a head injury because of this journey I've had. I've became very well versed in head injuries. So if anyone here or anybody you know is really struggling with one years later, feel free to reach out to me at some point and I can message back and forth with them, give them a call, whatever it might need. But I definitely have some good information to give them. Just based off of my journey that I've had and all this learning I've had to do, I dedicate a lot of time to helping people and learning more about this. I am in a high risk sport, so it's a very common thing. And I do like helping people because living how I was living the last couple of years as slightly more than a vegetable is definitely very tough. It's hard on everybody around you, and it's a miserable way to live. And there is a way out of it most of the time. So please, if anyone has anything, they can reach out to me.
Anybody have some severe
real quick,
injuries?
sorry to cut it. Remember I was telling you how Florida's bipolar? It's bipolar. This place is bipolar.
Yeah, that's coming this way now.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think another thing we overlook is some of us that have employees. Recently, a couple weeks ago in my other facility, I had one of my employees coming in the morning and was changing a tool in one of the Haas's used machine I bought at auction. And it was early in the day. He was manually changing a tool collet, and the safety interlock switch was supposed to be replaced by the company that was supposed to service it, which they did not. Something tripped in there, and the machine turned on, and the end mill slit his palm from basically meeting your wrist down to his pinky. And the thing it leads to, it's like shop safety. It goes with head injury, anything we all encounter on a daily basis, whether it be chemical strip or whatnot. You got to take it serious. You may overlook it. A lot of us are independent. We have one or two guys or three or four. I had OSHA come out multiple times over the past couple weeks. Workman's comp and report to report a workplace injury actually at the hospital through Workman's comp. They reach out to OSHA, etc. That was a little bit scary for myself. He's fine now. He's on the road to recovery. It could have been a lot worse. He could have lost basically his whole entire arm. And especially with the heat and stuff, workplace safety, if you're feeling nauseous, dizzy, if you see the warning signs in the summertime, go sit down. If you're in the shop alone and you keel over, you don't think about it. You could be laying there for hours. It could happen to any of us. I don't care how good a shape you're in, or, it's just something, food for thought. And then another thing to add, that's a pretty severe injury to have head trauma. And we touch base on setting up for family or local shop. Some of you guys may know him, Blown Deadline. He's a big Cerakote guy. He unfortunately passed away in a very terrible car accident. And his shop's left to his wife and one of his employees. And we don't think about that. We don't think about tomorrow. It's a very tragic event. They're taking over. They're going to do what's needed to be done. I guess you always have to have that plan, because something could happen to anybody, whether it be a disease, cancer, workplace injury. You always got to be thinking forward. We could sit here and take all the precautions we can and all the safety equipment, but it just one slip up and it's over. So that's it.
I always worry about the sandblasting. That's my thing, because having that capacity to be able to blast big stuff, and then but be underutilized in your equipment is a huge could lead to a huge thing. It like mesothelioma, it's a thing. I know everybody knows about it from the shipyard people or the asbestos people, but seriously, like the silica and all of that beryllium, it can cause the mesothelioma. So, like, if you've got anything to improve on your business, and the most important piece of equipment isn't necessarily your gun, it's more or less the sandblasting filtration system. So please bear that in mind. I haven't done enough shows on that. I need to kind of get back into talking about sandblasting. In fact, I got Titan Abrasive coming on the show in a couple of weeks here to talk up. He's always got, he's been in the business for so long, but it's expensive. Like Titan Abrasive is expensive, but like if you're going to push and you're going to be where you want to be, you have to buy that equipment, unfortunately.
So as
Uh,
crazy now that you're speaking about sandblasting, sorry to cut you short. As
no,
many frames as I do, I outsource my big stuff. I have a pretty big glass cabinet, but obviously not big enough to do a frame. But even then, like I've known my buddy that does my sandblasting for a long time, and I always go back to him. Like obviously, he blasts outside in his yard, in the yard and whatnot. And I always tell him, like, listen, none of these frames matter, dude. Like if you're beat up or whatever, like I can always call a customer. I can tell them, hey, listen, it's not going to be done today. It's probably going to be another 3 days. Like another thing that I do, I'm very upfront with people. As far as any of my clientele, they'll tell you, like, excuse my language, but I'm an honest asshole. Like I'll tell you what you don't want to hear, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I'd rather tell you the honest truth than to be like, oh, tomorrow, because tomorrow will defer somebody quicker than just telling them, listen, it's not going to be another week. And so back to that whole thing, like 2 weeks ago, he was doing a frame for me and it was already powder coated by somebody else. And he called me. It was hot 2 weeks ago. It was like 90 something degrees here. And he's like, man, I'm not going to be able to finish this today. I said, listen, that's okay, dude. Like at the end of the day, that is perfectly fine. Like it's not. And then it rained for the next week. So that job just got completely pushed off for 2 weeks. But things like that happen. Like there's certain things to where like you said, safety is more important. We can replace these parts. We can replace these frames. We can't replace people. So like even coating down here in the hot time of summer, like I even tell my buddy Matty, there's just two of us here. It's me and my buddy Matty. I tell him, hey, listen, today we're going to take it easy from 12 o'clock on. Like it's 114 degrees in here. Like, why are we going to kill ourselves? Like, it's not worth it. Like, and there's certain things. And that's why I really don't have a turnaround time. I don't, because I know situations like this. Like there's days like working in a 120 degree warehouse is not fun. And like people don't understand that because like you said, they'll look at YouTube videos and be like, oh, powder coating looks easy. Okay, yeah, it's real easy until you come do it. And so like that's my biggest thing is like I'm not going to run myself into the floor for somebody. I'm not going to run myself. I'm very big on saying no to rush jobs just because those are the ones that end up taking you 4 or 5 times. And they just, for some strange reason, whenever someone says I'm in a rush, that's it. That job is out the window, trash. That's just how it's going. It's no matter if you sprayed that part 100 million times, that job right there is going to be the one that's going to give you every type of problem.
Yep.
So
Every time.
100%.
So those situations is just understanding your surroundings, understanding your workers, understanding the environment you're in. And to me, being honest with people and telling them like, listen, this happened or that happened. Like I'm just an open book. And like, that's just how I go about things. And I've never really had an issue with it just because people understand it. I'm like, listen, I don't want to, like, as much as I want to get your parts done today, like I'm not going to die right here on this shop floor because it's 120 degrees when if I give them to you tomorrow, it's not going to change. So like, you're very like, it's just something that people have to understand. Like even getting into this industry, a lot of people, like I see a lot of new shops popping up here and there. Like you don't have to try to be Superman. Like as much as we want to coat everybody's stuff and make all the money, you don't have to be Superman. Like you could take a step back. You can understand life. You can relax a little and not stress yourself out so much because like he was saying, like with playing with B17 or the sandblaster. There's so many things that can go wrong at like a drop of a dime. And like people don't understand that pulling a wheel out of a B17 tank could be the last part of your day. Like that could end your whole day for the next couple of weeks. Like all it takes is one spill or one something, and like a lot of people don't understand that aspect. So it's like, to me, I'm more of like, I'm working on like a YouTube series type thing right now that's going to show the whole side of powder. It's not going to be the pretty videos of me just spraying apart. It's going to show the acid side of it. It's going to show the sandblasting. It's going to show the good side. It's going to show the bad side, because I don't want people to get this understanding that, oh, this is just simple. They snap their finger and this part's beautiful. Like that is the farthest thing from it.
Yeah, and that relates to pricing, to be honest with you. I'm sure somebody else may want to add in about the safety aspect of it, but that's why you want to charge as much as you possibly can, because you have to charge top dollar to keep that cash flow going, right? In case of things like that going on or going down, or somebody not showing up to work. Rich, do you got anything to add to that?
No.
Louise? Oh, sorry.
Just everything that Retro brings up is on point. It is a dangerous game. We see the videos. You see just awesome stuff. It's like even Zach, when he was on our last podcast and he talked, at Stay Spooled, he said, people don't see the hours and hours it takes to get that filming and that production and get, the lighting and everything like that. All they see is, man, that's fire. Like, did you see this? And show their buddy. They have no idea what goes into this. They have no idea the headaches, the stripping, the blasting, the dangers that the coder's facing, the heat, all these things. They don't see that. They just see the pretty picture on Instagram or Facebook or whatnot. Hey, look at this. This looks cool. I want my wheels to look like that. Yep. I want my turbo, my frame to look like that. Hey, can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. Sure. Instead of $800, or $1,000. Yep. Whoa, man.
Yeah.
But like that was my whole mindset with that whole thing, was to show powder coating raw and uncut. Like that is my biggest thing, and like promoting and pushing it as what it really is. Like you said, like they see these 15, 30-second clips, and all of a sudden this part goes from rusty and disgusting to beautiful, but it didn't happen in 30 seconds.
No.
Like that is a full day or maybe 2 days of work to make that 30-second video. And that's where it's very misleading with social media. It's like a lot of people are like, oh, I've seen you did this. And it was a 45-second video. Yeah. That 45 seconds took me 4 days. Like that, should I tell you, like, do you want me to hold the sign? Day 1. This is day 2. This is day 3. This isn't just minutes or hours. This is like full-blown dedication to try to turn something out and make it the way you want to make it.
Yeah. Well, Ty says from LP Coatings, B17 to the eye, straight to the hospital, out for weeks. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, I am so sorry for you, because that just sounds very painful. Ross has one on his eye here on the top, like on the eyelid. That is one thing.
I had a close call with that one time, and ever since then I wear a mask. I burned my arms numerous amounts of times. It is what it is. I call them battle wounds at this point. It is way too hot, and it's my own bad. Like I say it all the time, and but it's way too hot to put on a full-blown long sleeve jacket and all that stuff. So there's times to where like I'm like, damn, all right, yep, there you go. Just slow down, and that's like my thing. But one thing I don't play about is my face and like splashing into your eye or anything along those lines. Skin and all that stuff. As long as it's nothing crazy, wash it off, keep it going. But face and all that stuff, it's like people don't understand. Like I have a big sign that says B17 acid, do not touch. It's probably the one thing that every customer, when they walk into the shop, they say, what's that? I said, you don't want to know what that is. Like that is not, you don't want to know what that is. I'll tell you that.
No-go zone.
Yeah, just stay away from that whole area over there. Don't even walk over there and look in there, because it might bite you.
Right. Well, you guys got some alligators down there. Maybe you could just say it's an alligator.
That's Florida. They're crazy. They'll try to ride that thing.
Florida. We're catching that. Those are boots right there.
I used to get burned every day with powder. I mean, with Benco B17. Some idea that I came up with was I put a winch all the way in the ceiling with like a square pipe, and I use the winch to put the parts in the strip tank, and then I have a rinse tank with wheels that I put right next to the tank, the paint stripping tank. So basically, I try to stay away from Benco because I've been got burned like so many times.
Yeah.
And what I usually do now is I just pull the part with the bottom out of the paint stripping tank, hold it with obviously the glove, hold the wire with the glove, push it to the side to the rinse tank, let it go down, ready to go, ready to rinse out there. I didn't even touch it. I've seen a lot of people like actually looking for parts with the glove inside the Benco. Like,
Yeah.
well, oh, there you go. You know
me.
what
There
happened
was-
to me once before? I
Found
grabbed
the
a
hole in the
wheel
glove.
with the glove. I grabbed a wheel by the spoke, the edge of the spoke on the back.
Cut the glove.
Cut the glove down there. Guess what?
Oh no.
4 days in pain with this. Only this finger got me, and trust me,
Yep.
I had
It's
a lot
not
of
fun.
fun with that finger.
Yeah.
I talked to a guy who reached in too deep, and the B17 went over the top of the glove, and that's like some nightmare fuel for me. So similar to you, I got a gantry crane above my tank with a winch, and you got the apron and everything hanging right beside it, so you're fairly safe. But at the end of the day, like, that cable could snap. Like, B17's corrosive. That cable's getting like shitty every week. I look at it, it looks different, and it just takes that one heavier part or something to nick that cable, and like a whole wheel could just splash into the tank and come up at
That's
you.
why
So it is
I put
something
a
to be
huge
mindful of.
chain. That's why I have like a really thick chain attached to the hitch, so that way the wire never goes under the Benco B17.
So
Rule.
one thing that I did. So my tank's probably, I would say, 3.5, 4 feet deep.
Enough to hide a body.
Maybe a little bit, but I only fill it like a little bit over a quarter of the way, and I flip wheels in there, just so nothing's ever fully submerged, or like I tie things to the wire, and I'll hook them to the side of the tank or whatnot. But I've always thought about reaching in too deep and glove filling up, so I was like, let me just eliminate this thought in my mind right now, and I'll just flip a wheel. So now it might take me a little bit longer, but I'm okay with that. Like, it's cool. Like, I'll just flip it one time. I use a shovel sometimes that I just scoop it up and I'll drip it on top of it. But I've had a lot better nerves. My nerves have relaxed a lot, knowing that I don't have to reach in there 8, 10, 12, 14 inches deep of Benco to flip a wheel. And I mean, we do a lot of big wheels, like 26 14s, 26 16s, stuff like that. So like those type of wheels, it's always like, you're like, oh, I got to put this thing in acid. Like, oh my Lord. So it just kind of throws your whole day off. So it's like one of those things to where now it might take me twice as long to strip a wheel, but I'm okay with that. Like, that was just my peace of mind, knowing that, cool, I'll just do it this way. And like in 45 minutes, I'll go flip it, boom, and then it'll be done. So it's like, you live and you learn, and you try different things. And there's like certain things that we just come across, and just ways we go about things to help try to avoid certain situations, but we're never going to avoid it completely. So that's where you're always got to be on your toes and always pay attention to everything, and just never move too fast when you're around that stuff.
Always have an out too when you're using stripper. I always, if we have a heavy strip day, have a clean 5-gallon bucket of water. If you have a oops or have a garden hose, it's just not worth it, because you're going to have initial exposure, but if you're able to rinse it fast enough, you can save a lot of skin and pain and heartache.
Of course.
And honestly, a lot of guys that do it, you could buy some wall mount eye wash stations, face wash stations that are pretty affordable. Yeah, if you, depending on your township, city, wherever you're in, if you have a mechanical inspector, fire inspector, if they know that you have stripper in your commercial facility, they want you to have eye wash station. And if you lose your eye, I mean, if you go blind, you're done. You're
over.
Yeah.
Tyler knows.
And Bring
Yeah, I've been
extra
close. I've
pair
been close enough, and it's not fun. You
bring
fuck yourself
extra
in every way.
pair of shorts and t-shirt or pants to work in case you have to change.
Yep.
Always. And like, that's my biggest thing. Like, so what I normally do is like Monday is my strip day. So like I'll strip whatever I need to strip for that week on Monday. So I know Monday I come into work. I put my phone down. I don't really answer any customers' calls. I just concentrate on getting whatever I need to strip for the week. I do it that day. I clean it all off. I move everything around the shop so nothing's close to anything. And I just do that. And that way it kind of lets me settle in Tuesday through Friday and just concentrate on coding. So it's like, and then I know my tank is always open if needed to where I have to redo something. Like it's not, okay, well, I got to wait till these wheels are done stripping, or I got to wait till this lift kit's done, or anything along those lines. So it's kind of like Monday is my strip day. And like, I just concentrate on stripping. I'm not trying to worry about what's in the oven or what's going on, or trying to like, okay, I got to get there in 5 minutes, or I got to get here in 2 minutes, or I got to finish spraying this part. So it kind of, like I said, we build our routine and we get used to it, and we go about certain things our own way. And that's to me like the biggest thing in powder coating is just having a schedule that works best for you. Like, and that's, a lot of people get so overwhelmed at points to where like they have a million things going on, and I feel like that's when things happen. So it's like I try to limit all that stuff to where like my V17 tank is closed Tuesday through Friday, unless it's me stripping something that I messed up or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good strategy for sure. Just containing the days or the times or whatever. Same thing with blasting. Just because Ross kind of dreads it so much, but
yeah. So my buddy Matty that works with me, he does all my blasting. He keeps all my hooks clean, grinds all my hooks, cleans all my hooks. I don't really strip my hooks, believe it or not. Some of my hooks got 27 layers of powder on them, but the top and bottom surfaces are clean. And to me, that's his thing. Like he'll just go take 20, 30, 40 hooks and he'll go clean them. And I don't mind it. And then he does all my blasting. I do all the tape work. I do all the spraying. I do all the customer relationships. I do all the scheduling. And that's just our schedule. That's how we work, and that's how we rock and roll. And we found what we both like and enjoy, and that's it. And believe me, I couldn't blast all day like he does, but he loves it. So more power to him.
Send them my way, please.
Yeah, no shit. I'll take them.
And
You're gonna have a
P2,
bit
I
more.
just took the comment down, but P2 Custom said they used a cherry picker before they got a winch. So seems like that's, you got to have something.
This is the
There's
worst.
some
I
good
thought
stuff.
about that, but the great city of Boynton Beach that I'm in, I can't. That's the reason why my oven is only 8 foot tall. I can't have anything taller than 8 foot in my shop. So for me to have a winch setup, it would require being taller than 8 feet, and they won't allow me.
What?
Or I'd have to make my
What the fuck?
strip tank like 2.5 feet, and it would just be not worth it in my eyes. So,
Are they what? I don't understand the 8 foot thing, but
10-foot ladders are illegal.
Your guess is as good as mine. Like, so none of my racks are taller than 8 feet. My booth isn't taller than 8 feet. My oven's not taller than 8 feet. Everything is 8 feet or less.
Sounds like you live in Canada.
Yeah, where's Roro?
right.
Chasing his geese.
Well, I'm ready for
It's
another
polar bear
giveaway.
season.
I'm ready for another giveaway. Scott at SC wants to know how tall your shop is.
7 foot 11 inches.
No, the crazy part, look at this. Check this out. Way taller than 8 feet.
Yeah, I saw how big it was. That's so
But
funny.
Look at my oven doors. 8 foot. Look at my rack. 8
Would you
foot.
have to get like a permit to get something higher?
There's nothing I can do.
Oh.
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to build a frame rack so I can put like 5 or 6 frames on the wall and like stack them when I'm done with them or when I bring them in. And they wouldn't let me. So I was like, they're like, you can build one 8 feet. I'm like, that's only going to give me like 2 frames, maybe 3 frames. And that's not worth it to me.
So my question is, not to interrupt you, but is there a Home Depot in town that has racks and they're built in their store?
Yeah, and they're taller than 8 feet.
Point.
Like,
Listen, I try to stay on the good side of the city. I try to stay on the good side. They came here and told me no more than 8 feet. Then we're 7 foot 11 inches, man. We're hanging out. Like, we ain't pushing these limits. We ain't going that far. Just leave me alone in my corner and let me do what I do.
You're going to be the next guy that builds a killdozer.
I'm sure
Hey,
some people
Kim,
are building
I gotta
some
get out of
already.
here. I
Yes.
gotta get out of here. Kids are nagging
The
at
kids
me
are
for
reaching a limit. Okay, and
Yeah,
that's a great way to
grandkids
kind of
are-
wrap up. We're gonna do our last giveaway, so hang tight, and then we'll close the show. So let's do giveaway time, and let's do Columbia one more time, or 2 more times actually. We've got another $100 gift card and Nanner Peel. So 2 different ones. So let's do the $100 gift card. We got, Joe Pozdera. Make sure you're in the comments. You type in hashtag stripper in the comments right now so that you can be added. I want anybody checking him. I don't know. Joe, are you still there? I know you said you joined late. I wanted you to just type in hashtag stripper to get into the giveaway. So let's go for $100 on the Columbia. Thanks again, Brian at Columbia, for donating so much this time. This has been really great.
Brian's been
Yeah,
awesome.
amen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kier, Big Dipper Industries. Congratulations, Columbia. Okay. And let's do the Nanner Peel. So like it's 5 gallons. You can dilute it. It is heated and they're including shipping. But I don't know heated wise, like I don't know, they must sell I'm not sure how that part works. So I'm just going to kind of give that like the disclaimer on this prize, but there is a video on Columbia Coatings that shows you how it works, and it looks like it works pretty good. So this is for $185 value on the Nanner Peel. Part of that is shipping. Part of that is the cost of the Nanner Peel 5. Yeah, heated to 175. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Scott.
Don't put it on your stovetop.
Yeah. So, and he says it doesn't smell or anything. So like,
Does
and
it smell like bananas?
I know. I'm kind of disappointed if it didn't, but like, I don't even know
Well,
why they
that'd be
call it
cool.
Nanner Peel. Does anybody know why they call it Nanner Peel? I don't know. It's kind of
Peeling
extreme.
off powder?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe like a banana. Okay. Okay, here we go. Nanner Peel. Who's the winner? Billy. Congratulations, Billy. Billy's just going to keep racking it up. Okay.
Look at bipolar South Florida. Look at that. Now it's not raining anymore.
Okay, we gave away the Tiger. We gave away coats. We gave away prismatic, optimized. So, what is left? Benco?
Benco, B17.
Okay, well, makes
55
sense
gallon
because
drum.
we're like pretty much talking about Benco from the start and the beginning. So,
I'm on the show. Can I enter?
yeah,
How?
for sure. Type in hashtag stripper. This is your last chance. Now, before we kind of, I have to do the disclaimer on this, okay? Or it's not a disclaimer, but like there's certain parameters here. So if you are still left, and it looks like there's 16 entries, maybe a couple more will come in here. Basically, it's 30 gallons of B17. It doesn't include shipping. So you will have to pay for that. But Benco has been so kind and so amazing. And I mean, I don't think we bashed them or anything today. I think we kind of just, obviously talked about some pretty obvious stuff here. If you're using it or want to get into it, if you don't now. But
if anybody bashes it, you don't coat hard enough. That's
Right.
how I look at it. You bash that stuff, you don't coat hard enough.
Well,
Because
we
I don't
had
know
that
what I would do
yeah.
without it.
Yeah, pretty much. We had a conversation about that earlier this week about some people that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing on their Instagram. Anyways, so yeah, that's the deal. So obviously, you're going to need to have the overpack drum. It's not that you can't get it after. If you do win this prize, just know that you're going to have a container. And please don't tell me you're going to do like a 5-gallon container, like you know who, on their
Wait, time out. And whoever wins it, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll pay
But
the
it is
gladly.
I think it's a $600 value too, by the way. Okay,
It's
so
over
now
8, but you can't
It's
have
like
it.
$4,000.
yeah, but yeah, you got a little extra pay out there, but to get started with 30 gallons is amazing because that's pretty much what you need to get started. So let's draw this again. Ready? This is a grand prize, guys, and it's worth like $600. It's a $600 value. Jay,
Ooh.
Precision.
Nice.
That's a good win.
Jay got paid, and so did Shane got paid by showing up today. So, anyways,
Paid actor.
yeah.
I'll gladly pay the shipping, Jay.
So, thank you all for coming on. This has just been an amazing panel. We've talked about things that I didn't think we were going to talk about, and I'm glad that we did because we kind of went a little deeper with this group. This is the first group that we've had with all of us together, with Roro and Ashton and Justin, and Zach. We kind of had a rapport going, and I thank you all for coming on. I know some of you may have been a little uncertain, but I'm so glad that you did come on because you deserve to be here. You're all leaders in your industry and in your business. And we've got coders all over the country on this show, and I'm so proud of all of you for coming on and sticking it out for me with 2 hours, 2 hours and 12 minutes at this point.
Regardless of how you're doing the coding, I support and rock with every one of you. Like I said, everybody thinks this is real easy. This is the farthest thing from easy. So if you have the dedication and drive to do it, I support you. I'm always here to help, always here to answer questions. I ask questions. And to me, it's better to have the community whole than to have people standing by themselves.
Yeah. And before we all go, I want each and every one of you to kind of just say I want y'all to get likes and subscribes. If people are listening and they haven't heard of you, please tell us what your hashtag is on Instagram or where's the best way to follow you, if it's Facebook or Instagram.
Look for that big orange.
Let's see. Rich, your rags to riches.
Rags. Easy. Hashtag rags. Rags.
Rags.
Rags to riches.
Okay. Probably should put that up on the ticker, but and then Tyler, what's the best way to find you?
So I actually haven't posted on my social media since my head injury because I've only been recovered for the last, say, 6 months or so. So I've actually gone off of everything, which has been fucking great. I just have really close people feeding me work all the time and the loyal customers. And again, like Retro said, no timeline. I'm not your timeline guy. A lot of people message me at my Instagram of Tyler Billings, but I still do probably get 15 messages a day at Georgian Powder Coating, which is my actual business, which I don't post anything on, but either or, I appreciate a follow or anything on either of those pages. And if not, it is what it is. I still love what I do. I take tons of pictures. I just don't post them.
Yeah, you're a phenomenal athlete, and you do have a really nice Instagram, so it's good to see.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that is the priority over powder too.
Shane, where can we find you?
Instagram, Michigan_powder coating. Kind of more active now since the group's popped up on Instagram. Fab Coat Performance Coatings on Facebook, which I slack on. I just don't have the time. I guess that's a good problem to have or on Facebook itself. If you'd add me, it just comes up Shane Hall. There's a two-tone Arlen S. Harley wheel, but always happy to take a phone call, help any coders. I like meeting new people. Usually when I travel for my other shop, time to time, if I'm in your area, I try to always stop and visit someone's shop. I've seen when I used to go to Tennessee a lot, I've stopped and seen Terry, Mr. Speed Coatings. He's got one heck of a setup. But yeah, if anyone ever needs any help, I'll help to the best of my ability or network or point you in the right direction to something.
Awesome. Okay, Luis, let's get back to the top there.
Yes, we are on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us as LS Powder Coating. And yeah, feel free to go and follow us and check all the cool things we do there.
Awesome. Thank you. And Robert, you're our mystery guest.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, every social media that you can think of. Instagram is R&PMC. My name is not Randy. So everybody that I can't tell you how many times a week people say Randy, it's R&PMC. And then, like I said, on Facebook, just Google it or whatever. We pop up on everything.
Do you remember when I was trying to reach out to you, trying to follow you, and for whatever reason, Instagram or Facebook was like not allowing me to follow you? It was the strangest thing.
I think that was, I don't know.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on Facebook or what, but I was like, yeah, I'm not.
It would not pop up. It was Instagram, and I would literally type in R&P, and nothing would come up. It was the weirdest thing. But if you were tagged in another post and I clicked on you, I could find you that way. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I haven't, but anyways, I know you were kind of always having some weird stuff on your social happening there for a while. Hopefully it's all resolved.
Well, it could have also gotten buried because, like I said, I've got all 4,700 of them, and there's just notifications popping up all over the place. So sometimes they fall through the.
I honestly don't know how you manage it all, that to be that, have that many followers. And
so on Reels, whenever the Reel boom was going on, I jumped onto that train, and basically I'm not sure if you can look through other people's views and stuff like that, but there's a bunch of views that have like 10 million views, 6 million views, 3 million views, and it went from like 10, 12,000 followers to like, I think I was getting anywhere from like 1,500 to like 3,000 followers a week. And I wrote it out until now it's kind of dwindled off. So now we don't really post that much anymore. I have my office person, post as many, probably 2-3 posts a day, and that's about it. So we don't really care about followers. So because 9 times out of 10 followers don't mean anything. You can't monetize them for the most part. So we don't really care about the number of followers, but the quality of followers. So it's just a number.
Followers will trick some people. We
Yeah.
seen that yesterday in the group chat. A customer picked a place based on their followers and it bit them in the rear. So yeah, don't make your decision on powder coating by how many followers someone has. I'm big on that. To me, it's more about meeting the coder, understanding the coder, and seeing if that's the coder for you. Obviously, like I said, I'm big on no turnaround. That's just how I get down. But I take pride in what I do. So with that being said, just make sure you know who you're dealing with and what you're trying to get out of that person.
Right. And you can be found how?
On Instagram and Instagram only at Retro Powder Coating.
Gotcha. And everybody else that's in the chat, if you are still listening, thank you for putting how to get a hold of you. And also your social media as well. It's always good to kind of build this community that we're trying to build. Every time we do a show like this, we learn more, get to know more people. I think it's working, and I'm so happy that it is. I'm getting better about setting things up now on the back behind the scenes and stuff, but if you guys we didn't even get to Q&A. I feel bad about this, but we have some Q&A, but If you guys want to stay late, that's fine. I feel bad. I just realized that we had some think people were struggling with, but perhaps maybe we could do another live show real soon with the same guys or a group of guys and talk about what you're struggling with. Oh, some guy said Tim is struggling. Oh, Tim says he's struggling with his ex-wives. I don't think you guys can. Tim, I'm going to get you for that one. But like some guys were struggling with golds, and some guys are Paul Akins is struggling with waking up. I get it. Burnout. We could talk about burnout next time.
I think we're all struggling with this heat.
Yeah, definitely the weather is for sure. Anyways, we'll have to. I'm going to collaborate a whole bunch of, because we had some from the last time and this time. So I think we'll gear the next stream around these what people are struggling with, and we'll have lots of content. Maybe we'll just do only Q&A instead of just a topical one and stuff. So thanks again, all you guys. I appreciate and love all your support for the podcast. So thank you all for coming on today.
Always. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Aloha.
Nice meeting you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. My pleasure.
Bye.
Everybody have
Peace.
a good night, good afternoon over there on the super West Coast.
Retro,
Yeah.
I'll stop by one day to say what's up.
Oh, definitely will. So vice versa. If you're ever down in Boyan, come on through.
All right, I will.
All right, you boys have a good night.
You too.
Take care,
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.